of the things for all of us is that we're all looking for certainty, and there is no guarantee in life other than death and taxes. But if you want to create the future for yourself, if you want to create whatever that looks like, then you need to work towards that, because if you choose not to, then what is certain about that is that you won't get it, right? And so it comes back to if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Either way, Henry Ford said that many, many years ago. And if you think that you can do this, if you work towards this on a daily basis, as Rob said, then you'll be successful. You will be successful. Conversely, if you think you can't do it, if you think it's too hard to find a deal, I mean, that's the classic for me. People saying, I can't find a deal. You keep telling yourself that story, and guess what? You won't find a deal. As opposed to flipping it around and saying, I haven't found the deal for me yet, because the deal of a century happens every single week. Yeah. It's just you haven't found it yet, and you are inching yourself closer towards finding it. But if you say to yourself, I can't find a deal, it's too hard, this strategy doesn't work, all this stuff, then guess what? It won't happen.
And the first part of the conversation, everyone's in a habit of using that same phraseology every single time. So by adding just one word to the end of the sentence, yet, right? So I can't find a deal yet, right? That phraseology, then you'll start to remove that word yet and actually start to rephrase your sentence. But you have to be consciously aware, which is what Tony was saying before, that self-reflection. Going back and going, well, how many times did I say yet today? Yeah. So now I'll notice a couple of statements coming through. So Rachel J says, these are the points that I'm trying to teach my children, funnily enough. But as adults, we often don't get it either. You determine how you deal and respond to a situation. So absolutely right, Rachel. I have seen many, many, many situations where the same facts have occurred to two different people in the same room at the same time, and one person uses it to inspire them to move on and do greater things, and the other person uses it to beat themselves up and curl up in the fetal position.
Correct.
So it's not the thing that happens, it's the meaning that we give to that thing.
That's 100%. And the key word in Rachel's statement there is respond. A lot of people react. They react, they think the sky's caving in, it's all over, I'm done, I'm hopeless, as opposed to respond. And respond being you control how you choose to respond to all those things that happen. And as Rob said, it's all around the meaning that you place on things. And again, this simple, glass, it's the old saying of, is it half full, half empty? Pessimism, optimism. The same thing. We're all looking at the same thing. We're all looking at the amount of glass there. Some people just view that as pessimistic. Others view it as being optimistic.
Well,
or you do it differently. Yeah, correct. I know you do. Yeah.
I consider it completely full. It's half full of water and it's half full of air. So now Adrian says, what are your thoughts on morning routine for a stronger mind?
That's a wonderful question, Adrian. And Adrian, you'll know my thoughts on this, but I'll share it with everybody. So I'd like to rephrase it from morning routine to daily routine, and only because I've had a number of people say to me lately that they're not morning people. And so we've sort of lost them. So I want to change it up to being a daily routine. It doesn't matter if you do this in the morning, at lunch, or at night. But what it's all about, and Rob touched on it before, it's all about going through a process to get your mind right. So I have a process that I go through every day, which I focus on meditating. I focus on being grateful. Gratitude for me is absolutely key to your success. And by that I mean you want to be grateful for the things that you have around you right now. I accept that you mightn't be where you want to be, but getting frustrated because you're not where you want to be is actually counterintuitive. It's actually working against you. You have to be grateful for the things that you have right now. So the saying is, be happy with what you've got whilst you pursue what you want, as opposed to getting all stressed and frustrated because I'm not where I thought I would be. I'm 46 and I'm not where I thought I would be at this point in time in my life. What you're actually doing is you're actually taking yourself further and further away from that goal that you've got for yourself. Get very grateful with where you are. The other way to look at it is, why would the universe, and it's taken me about 40 odd minutes to bring the universe in, but why would the universe give you anything extra if you're not happy with the stuff you've got right now, right? So get really happy with the stuff you've got right now, and then you'll be amazed at how the universe will then reward you with a whole lot of more stuff, as opposed to, you know, you're frustrated, you're angry, you don't have the car you want, you haven't got the job you want, you haven't got the money, you blah blah blah, all this stuff. Then the universe is going to give you nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the whole gratitude piece. Then it's around, Rob touched on it before, about affirmations. I've got another saying, which is, and it's not mine, it's just ones that I've accumulated over the years, which is, be careful what you say to yourself, because your mind is listening. And so the whole point around affirmations is to say things to yourself that help with your belief. This is all around creating the belief. I had never been a successful property developer before I was a property developer. Does that make sense? And so for me, it was about telling myself that I was a successful property developer, that I was able to make a fist of this. I was able to leave my job on the back of property development. I'd never done it before, but in my mind I had. With the things that I'd say to myself, I had, and I said it to myself and still say it to myself over and over and over on a daily basis. So you want to say a whole range of positive affirmations. That is, that you are a successful property developer. You might be at the start of your journey. Doesn't matter. You want to say to yourself that you are a successful property developer, that you do have the skills required to be a successful property developer, that you do have the mindset to push through whatever challenges and obstacles come your way. That's the affirmation piece. Then there's the visualization piece. That is, you want to see the result before it actually happens. You want to see yourself as a successful property developer. See yourself signing that contract. See yourself perhaps with the hard hat on the job site, or whatever your vision is for you, but you want to see it first. And the more that you can see it, and it's the emotion that you attach to that, then you take yourself closer and closer to that outcome.
Yeah, absolutely.